What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. This is going to be part two to This Is the End. And if you guys have not listened to part one, I basically kind of shared with you guys this past year, right? The highs and lows, this roller coaster ride, right? In terms of like my business, family life, everything like this. And, long story short, I was saying in part one how proud of myself I am, though, for sticking with the mission. And what was the mission? It's recording these podcast episodes, Monday through Friday, no ifs, ands, or buts. And that's extremely hard to do, especially on the days where you have no voice, especially on the days where you're sick, you're tired, you don't feel like it. And that is where I feel like I built up on the biggest personal character trait, which is the most important one, which is discipline. And definitely go back and listen to part one, because I kind of share with you all in terms of just like the overall message was how you do one thing is how you do everything. And you got to learn how to make a promise to yourself, a commitment to yourself, and actually stick with it. Anybody can do anything when life is easy, but you're really tested when life throws you these curveballs and adversity. And I kind of share about, what has led me to get over them in that previous episode. So go take a listen to that. In terms of today's episode, I want to kind of share in terms of where the podcast, my YouTube channel, everything like that, where it's going next. So for starters, right, I'm a big fan that, hey, and I take constructive criticism, right? Like that's me, right? But I'm the hardest person on myself, right? So these past few weeks, as I knew I was coming up to the end here of this year-long journey of recording these episodes, I wanted to transition into a different shift, right? In terms of like where I wanted to take my YouTube channel, where I also wanted to take the podcast. And for the past year, it's been a lot of quantity over quality. Well, now we're going to switch it up. Now it's going to be more quality over quantity. So I'm not going to be producing the podcast and producing YouTube videos as often, right? I'm not going to give you a schedule and say, oh, it's going to be 3 times a week or twice a week or anything like that. I can just say you're definitely going to be hearing from me. Some weeks it might be once. Some weeks it might be twice. Some weeks it might be 3 or 4, maybe even 5. Who knows, right? But it's not going to be a set schedule like how it has been, because I want to make sure that I go to the drawing board, right, first and foremost, and say, hey, I don't want to just, make this form of content and put it out there. Like, I want to brainstorm. I want to really map things out and really focus on quality, once again, rather than quantity, because there's a big difference. The podcast and also the YouTube videos going to be completely separate. Right now, it's all the same. Like I can easily, record these episodes and, publish it to iTunes and Spotify, and then also to YouTube after I get done with the edits and whatnot. Very, very easy for me to do. But I want to change things up. I want the podcast to be geared towards more of, let's just say, I don't know. I really like, here's the biggest thing that you should know about me is like, I love talking mindsets, and I love mixing just practical everyday, which, hey, for the majority of people that want to, and listening and tuning in, they want to learn how to lose weight, right? They want to learn how to lose body fat, improve their overall health. So I love mixing and matching the mindset with the nutrition, mindset with the training, everyday practices, everything like that, right? So I think the podcast is going to be, geared towards that, but putting more of a motivational spin on it, as well. Now the YouTube videos, I still haven't figured out, right, how I want to go ahead and take on the next challenge at hand, right? Obviously, I learned through, and I talked about this in the previous episode about, This Is the End part 1. I learned how to do more video quality, right? Video editing, right? So I can improve the quality of it on my own. So I learned how to do all that, and I kind of want to get creative with it, to be completely frank and honest with you. I'm a big fan of, you ever go on YouTube and you see like those motivational clips of like people working out and all that stuff, and then it's like the voiceovers in terms of just like, hey, you're hearing somebody's message. I think realistically that's where I want to take my YouTube channel, where there is so much content on here right now. You got to think, just this past year, 52 weeks in a year, right? Monday through Friday, new episodes, right? Like I got a lot of content. There is probably hundreds of videos about workouts, hundreds of videos about, nutrition, 100 videos about, stress, 100 videos about mindset, the whole 9 yards, right? Like you can't really, miss a beat. Just go to my YouTube channel, type in the search bar, whatever it is that you want to find. I'm pretty sure you're going to find it there, right? But regardless, I want to take it into where it's just pure motivation. Pure motivation. And who knows? Maybe I'm also mixing and matching the mindset, the nutrition piece, and the motivational piece, just like how I want to do with the podcast, into terms of the YouTube videos itself, right? But just having a slight, difference to it, where somebody could watch those videos and, see some people working out, or see somebody, overcoming some challenges, whatever, kind of resonates with them. I personally just love watching those motivational clips on my YouTube. I mean, that's what my YouTube algorithm is all filled with anyways, right? I love that stuff. It's great to listen to first thing in the morning, and I would like to go make that transition getting there, right? So regardless, I'm going to do some brainstorming, right? I'm going to do some praying and thinking about it, right? In terms of just like, how can I bump up the quality? How can I just, once again, use my God-given talents, and that is to help inspire others. So that's probably going to be the transition. So the reason why I'm telling you that is because, hey, you might not hear from me for a little bit, right? I'm still here, I promise. You're probably still going to see your, YouTube short videos and Instagram feeds and whatnot and Facebook posts, of course, right? I'm always going to be here. But in terms of just the Monday through Friday, constant content with the podcast, the YouTube videos, episodes, it's going to stop, right? It's going to end right here. This is in terms going to be the last episode of it, and which is good because I need a breather, right? Just like how I talk about how, if you crush it in the gym, you got to make sure that recovery is on point, right? To actually see the benefits, to see the results. And right now, I got to recover, right? It's been a year. And once again, in the past episode, right, this is the end, part 1, I talk about a lot of highs and lows, right? Business, family, friends, etc., right? Lots of highs and lows. But I'm very grateful that I was able to stick with my word, very grateful that I was able to stick with my promise to myself, because that's very hard to do, is make a commitment and promise to yourself and stick with it. And I feel like I definitely leveled up this past year by doing so. And so if you guys are sticking around, hey, I appreciate you, right? Tenfold. If you guys are listening for the first time, I recommend going back and listening to some past episodes. I got some really, really good ones, and you can pretty much find anything in terms of like this past year, what I've recorded. Just search for anything. There's so many episodes to help you out, whether it's just your mindset, whether it's stress, whether it's nutrition, whether it's training, whether it's weight loss, anything like that. You pretty much can find it here. And make sure that if you haven't already, subscribe, because as we progress with the podcast, the YouTube channel, the whole 9 yards with this, I want you guys to see that next transition, right? In terms of it not being the quantity anymore, now it's going to be more quality. And I'm really excited to get to the drawing board and map it all out and just game plan and just come back better than ever. So with that being said, as always, guys, this has been Coach Joe with the Heartletics Podcast, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.